The possibility to play this game was a pleasant surprise for Dr. Alexander Zamikhovsky and myself. Although we have known each other for a long time, we are both from Kiev, we had never had a chance to play against each other. He was a physician and also one of the strongest players in the Ukraine. After the 22nd of June 1941, when Germany started the war against the Soviet Union, Dr. Zamikhovsky did his patriotic duty and served as a surgeon in an army field hospital, often situated close to the battlefield. He saved hundreds of lives, but at the cost of his own health. David Bronstein. Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to take a look at that same game played between David Bronstein and Abram Zamikhovsky. The game was played in 1970 in Leningrad. Bronstein, who had white pieces, opened up with e4, to which Zamikhovsky responded with Caro-Kann defense. d4, d5, knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight d7. Modern variation is on the board, the short-term goal of which is to develop the kingside knight and after the exchange recapture with the knight, not allowing white to damage the pawn structure. c3 by Bronstein, which is not the most popular move. In here, knight g5 is considered to be an ambitious move, but knight f3, bishop c4 or bishop d3 are also very popular. In the game we see c3, and here is how Bronstein comments on this move. The idea of this move is to protect the pawn on d4 against future attacks and create a safe place on c2 to retreat the bishop to after it has gone to d3 first. Knight gf6, meanwhile black is proceeding with the development, and knight g3. Rejecting the offer of exchange of knights allows white to keep this bishop's diagonal blocked. e6, knight f3, bishop e7, bishop d3, c5. Both players castled kingside. Knight e5, white knight is occupying a central square, and queen e2. It took Bronstein 14 minutes to make this move. At this point other alternatives are bishop f4, rook e1 or even f4, but later we will see how useful this queen is going to be on e2. b6, meanwhile black wants to develop his queenside bishop, f4, rook e8. This rook e8 move becomes the reason of black's upcoming problems, and at this point it was better to proceed with the development. But instead we see this strange looking rook e8 move, and the problem with this move is that black is making the pawn on f7 vulnerable, on which white will now rely. Knight e4, h6. It looks like that by playing h6 black is preventing knight g5 jump, but it turns out that this knight is unstoppable and Bronstein made it. Knight g5 targeting the pawn on f7. Now if for example h takes g5, then after f takes g5 sooner or later you are going to give back this knight. At this point if a move like knight d5, then you can even step into a checkmate. White can play queen h5, and yes, black king is in a mating net. If f5, then white can capture en passant. If knight takes f6, then bishop h7 check, and then black king is getting checkmated. Or after f takes g5, if a move like knight takes e5, then again after d takes e5 you should give up the knight. Again knight d5 can be met with queen h5. In our game after knight g5 we see rook f8 by black, covering the f7 square, but this time Bronstein landed another heavy punch and we have knight g6. Look at this beauty, guys. Accepting the piece sacrifice can be met with queen takes e6, and then queen takes e7 is coming. This is a total destruction. That's why black moved his rook once again, but this time Bronstein made another powerful move, knight takes e6. This white cavalry is simply galloping in black's camp, destroying everything on its way. Now if for example f takes e6, then after queen takes e6 we can even witness a very beautiful smothered mate, you know. Don't forget that we have a light squared bishop on d3. If king g8, then knight takes h6 check, and then we have a queen sacrifice, and white is announcing a smothered mate. That's why after knight takes e6 we see queen d6 by black, and f5. This time the f pawn is coming to support these guys. F takes g6, bishop f4, queen c6, bishop b5. White is harassing black queen. Queen e4, queen takes e4. Not the strongest continuation by Bronstein. Keeping alive the queens is better. King h8, then rook e1. Instead we see queen takes e4, which is also a strong continuation, and now we'll see how Bronstein is going to realize his advantage. F takes g6, and now we have knight c7 threat. Knight df6, knight c7. Bronstein is targeting black rooks with his knight. This is of course a stronger continuation than capturing on e8. In this case you will now see how white is going to break the harmony of black pieces. Rook e1, knight df6, and only now we see knight takes a8, after which here comes rook takes e4, and then rook e1, and now white is managing to win a piece, after which we see that the storm is over and we are in a rook endgame where white has 2 extra pawns. This is of course an easy win, and now let's see how Bronstein realized his advantage. Rook f7, a nice wedge on g6 allows white to penetrate the 7th rank. Rook takes g6, rook c7, rook d6, b3, rook d2, and after rook takes c5, resignation followed. Yes, there is no way to stop these pawns, and this is actually an easy win. That's why Zamikhovsky resigned. Another impressive attacking game where this time Bronstein managed to make use of the power of his knights. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to find the winning line for white. It's white to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.